Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you're working in hospitality or honestly any customer-facing role, you already know that complaints are absolutely inevitable. It's just part of the gig, right? But exactly how you handle those complaints, well, that is the exact thing that separates an average operation from a truly legendary one. So today, we're going to master the art of service recovery. We're breaking down a highly effective front office framework that actually turns the chaos of guest complaints into an exact, manageable science. Let's get right into it.
So I want to start with a quick question for you. When a guest complains, what is the absolute biggest mistake you can make? Take a second, just pause, and predict what you think that is. Because, most of us in the service industry, we have this immediate, burning instinct to just jump right in and fix the problem. We genuinely want to be helpful. We just want to make the issue go away as fast as possible. But actually, jumping straight to the solution is the worst possible thing you can do.
And here is exactly why. Listen first, solve second. This is the golden rule of handling feedback. Before any solution is ever offered, literally, before you comp a meal, before you change their room, before you call engineering, the guest absolutely needs 3 psychological things from you. They need validation, respect, and understanding. If you skip over those, even comping them a massive room upgrade can actually make them angrier, simply because they don't feel like you actually heard them.
Okay, so let's look at how we actually do this. Here are the 7 stages of this framework. Listen actively, apologize sincerely, gather information, offer solutions, escalate if needed, follow up, and finally, document. What's really interesting here is the structure itself. Notice how stages 1 through 3 are entirely focused on emotional intelligence and fact-finding. And this is a massive warning. Skipping stages 1 through 3 will completely backfire. You literally have to earn the right to offer a solution.
Let's see this in action. Scenario 1, the billing dispute.
All right, here's the setup. You've got a guest checking out. They have a taxi waiting outside, so the time pressure is intense. They're scanning their folio and furiously disputing a $14 minibar charge from 11 p.m. the night before. They're swearing they never touched the minibar, but the charge is already sitting right there in the system. The tension is palpable. I mean, we've all been there, right? Sweating behind the desk while that taxi meter just keeps running?
So, what is your first move? Again, pause and predict your immediate reaction to this highly stressed out guest. Do you argue with them? Do you frantically call housekeeping to go check the room while that meter continues to tick up? Let's walk through how to properly apply the stages in this high-pressure moment. First, hit stage 2, apologize. You say, "I'm sorry for the confusion on your bill. Let me look at this right now." Notice you aren't admitting fault here. You're just apologizing for the friction. Then, move to stage 3, gather. Check your property management system and ask a simple, clarifying question like, "Were you in the room at 11 p.m.?" Finally, stage 4, solve. If you are in genuine doubt after that, just remove the charge. A $14 charge is never, ever worth a 1-star review. Handle it quickly so they can catch their cab, and just flag it for your manager to review later.
All right, moving on to Scenario 2, the noise complaint.
Let's lay out the facts for this one. It's 11:30 p.m. A guest calls the front desk, livid about loud music coming from the room next door. But here is the critical context. This guest sounds completely exhausted, and they have a 5 a.m. flight the next morning. They are actively threatening to never return to your hotel if this isn't stopped right now. So how do we handle it? Stage 1 is crucial here. Listen, you have to let them vent their frustration without interrupting. Just let them get it out. Then we pivot straight to stage 4, solve. The crucial point here is that an immediate room move is actually way faster than calling security and waiting for those neighbors to finally quiet down. This guest needs sleep right now. And look at stage 6, follow-up. This part is non-negotiable. You must call them or check on them before that 5 a.m. flight to ensure they actually got some rest. You definitely do not want to wait for them to walk up to the desk furious at 4:30 in the morning.
And hey, speaking of follow-up, let's talk about a really crucial metric, 30. You have exactly 30 minutes to follow up on minor issues. Whether it's a room temperature complaint, missing towels, or a noise issue, 30 minutes is your absolute maximum window to ensure the solution you provided actually worked. Because if you miss that window, the guest is just sitting up there in their room getting frustrated all over again.
Okay, let's shift gears and look at the actual words you use. This is the communication toolkit. Say this, not this.
Let's start back at stage 2, the apology. Notice the massive contrast here. Say this, "Please accept my sincerest apologies for the inconvenience you've experienced." It's direct, it's clear, and it makes 0 excuses. Contrast that with the absolute dreaded,
"I'm sorry you feel that way." I mean, we've all heard it, right? It sounds incredibly dismissive, and it heavily implies that the guest is just overreacting. Simply put, never use that phrase.
Let me find out what happened. Say this, let me find out what happened. Do not say, that's not my department. This perfectly illustrates the very core of hospitality. It is always your responsibility to connect the guest to the right person. Deflecting blame onto another department is a massive mistake. It instantly destroys any trust the guest had in your team.
Now, what's really fascinating is that this specific phrase is highlighted as the single most important question in the entire manual for Stage 3. What would make this right for you? Why is that so important? Well, because if you don't ask it, you're going to guess the solution. And human nature being what it is, you're usually going to guess wrong. Sometimes a guest doesn't even want a free meal. They literally just want an explanation or a genuine look-you-in-the-eye apology. Ask them and they will tell you.
Moving into resolutions, let's look at how we take ownership. Say this, "I'll personally make sure this is followed up." Not this, "Someone will take care of it." You can immediately feel the difference, right? The first phrase takes personal ownership and instantly builds trust. The second phrase just sounds vague. It sounds like you're passing the buck, and it is completely uncommitted.
But, what happens when the issue is just beyond your authority? Let's break down Stage 5, escalation. Here is exactly how you bring in management without making the guest feel like you're abandoning them. Step 1, inform the guest clearly that you are getting the front office manager and will be right back. Step 2, brief the manager privately on the facts. Do not, under any circumstances, do this in front of the guest. Step 3, return together and introduce the manager by their name and role. It creates a completely seamless handoff.
And of course, we arrive at Stage 7. Document everything. Log it in the property management system before your shift ends. I really need to remind you of a hard truth in this industry. If it isn't documented in the PMS, then as far as the next shift is concerned, it simply didn't happen. All of your incredible service recovery is completely invisible if it isn't logged.
And all of this brilliantly illustrates the power of just 1 minute. Let's bounce back to Stage 6 for a second. It takes less than 1 minute of follow-up, literally one quick phone call, to turn a resolved complaint into a truly positive memory. That single minute proves to the guest that you actually cared about them even after the transaction was complete.
Which brings us to our final powerful takeaway for today. A guest who is heard becomes a guest who returns. You now have the 7 stages, you have the scenarios, and you have the precise scripts to handle pretty much anything that comes your way. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. What are you going to do differently on your very next shift? The tools are all right here for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Use these strategies to elevate your service recovery, and I'll see you on the next one.